Okay, so good morning, everyone. Today's topic is the numerical on MOSFET common source amplifier. So we have this amplifier given to us, and we have to find the voltage gain, input impedance, and output impedance of the circuit, which is given. Okay, so let me adjust the size to around, let's say, 40. Yeah. So we have been given some MOSFET parameter. VTN is given as 3 volt, which is my threshold voltage, and Kn is given as zero point 0.4 milliampere per volt square. So these are my two MOSFET parameters. Over here, this configuration is a common source configuration because input is applied to the gate and output is taken out from the drain terminal. Your supply voltage is 30 volt. R1 value is 40 mega ohms. R2 is 10 mega ohm. CC1, CC2 is 1 microfarad. CS is 100 microfarad. RD is 3.3 K. RS is 1.2 K. And RL is given as 10 kilo ohms. Okay. And we have to find the voltage gain, input impedance, and output impedance of this circuit. So let us begin our analysis. So step number one is DC analysis. So for a DC analysis, we will consider all external capacitors as open circuit. Why we do that? Because frequency is 0 for DC. So my XC, which is the reactance offered by the capacitance, will be infinite. Because it is given by 1 upon 2 pi FC and F is 0, so reactance offered by these capacitance will become infinite. That is why we treat all the capacitors for DC analysis as open circuit. And when we do that, we get this reduced circuit without any capacitor. This is my voltage divider biasing, and we have solved one numerical based on this. So let us revise that quickly. So over here, we know for a MOSFET, the gate current is 0. Now, since the gate current is 0, this R1 and R2 form a voltage divider, right? So my voltage VG across the resistor R2 is given by R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VDD. This is called as voltage division rule. Now R2 value is 10 mega ohm, R1 value is 40 mega ohm, VDD value is 30. So you substitute in a calculator, you will get VG as 6 volt. Please try that out. Next, we find the value of Vs, the source voltage Vs. Okay. So over here, the drain current flows through the drain terminal. The same current flows through the source terminal also. Okay. So if you want to find the source voltage, so the source voltage will be ID into RS. And RS value is given as 1200. So Vs will be 1200 into ID. So what will be VGS value? VGS value is VG minus Vs. VG is in our case is 6 volt, and Vs is ID into 1200. So this becomes a equation number A. Now, assuming that the MOSFET is working in the saturation region, we can write the drain current equation as follows. It is given by ID times, ID is equal to Kn times VGS minus VTO the whole square. The value of Kn is given as 0.4 milli and the VTO is given as 3. So we substitute it over here and we get this equation number 3, B. Now we have two equations A and B, and we have two unknowns. One unknown is ID, other unknown is VGS. So we can solve them together. So what we do is we put equation number B in equation number A. Okay, so we rewrite this expression A. VGS is 6 volt minus 1200 into ID. So instead of ID, we will write this complete expression. So it will be 1200 into zero point 0.4 milli into VGS minus 3 the whole square. Now we have to expand this. So this multiplication 1200 into zero point 0.4 milli comes out to be 0.48. And we expand this square VGS minus 3 the whole square, which will be VGS square minus 6 times VGS plus 9. Now we will multiply this, and finally after few steps we will get a quadratic equation in terms of VGS, which is given by 0.48 VGS square minus 1.88 VGS minus 1.68 is equal to 0. So if you solve this quadratically in your calculator, you will get two values of VGS. The first value is 4.6667 and the second value comes out to be 0.75. So over here, it is very obvious that we have to select VGS equal to 4.66 because in a MOSFET, especially in an NMOS enhancement type MOSFET, your VGS value has to be positive. Secondly, it has to be greater than VTO. In our case, VTO is 3 volt, so VGS value is greater than that. Hence, we select VGS as 4.6667. Now we can calculate the value of ID as given by the formula Kn into VGS minus VTO the whole square. Earlier we know the value of VGS and VTO, but now also we know the value of VGS. So we can easily calculate the value of ID. So please calculate it, put these values in the calculator, and you can verify this answer. Don't just directly write the answer. Please verify with the help of calculator. So ID value comes out to be 1.1111 milliamperes. Next is we'll find the small signal parameters. Now, since in the given data, RD is not given, so we will assume it to be infinite. So RD over here is infinite value. Next, we calculate the value of GM, which is given by twice Kn into VGS minus VTO. So Kn value is 0.4 milli, VGS is 4.6667, and VTO is 3 volt. Okay, so by substituting these values in the calculator, you will get the value of GM as 1.333 milliampere per volt. So that's the value of GM. Now we got the value of GM. Our last task is to draw the small signal equivalent model. The small signal equivalent model as well as the small signal equivalent circuit, assuming all the capacitors and the DC sources are assumed to be short circuit. So first we draw the small signal model of a MOSFET, right? We have seen last time the small signal model of a MOSFET looks like this. Between the gate and source, we have open circuit, and between the drain and source, we have the voltage dependent current source GM into VGS. Since RD is not, I mean, we have assumed it to be infinite, we will keep it as open circuit. So how do we draw this small signal equivalent circuit? So first we consider a main circuit, and in this, the given circuit, in fact, and with this we assume all the external capacitors and the DC sources to be short circuit. Okay, why DC sources? Because we small signal model or small signal equivalent circuit will represent only the time varying quantities. Okay, along with the circuit components. Now over here, we will assume that all the capacitors at the signal frequency are behaving as a short circuit, and the DC source is also short circuited. So here it is, here are the sections. So from here, from this diagram, I will be drawing the small signal equivalent circuit. Okay, so we will check it from the gate terminal. So first of all, we'll replace this MOSFET gate terminal, drain terminal, and source terminal with the help of small signal model. So here we have it. Between gate and source, we have VGS. Between drain and source, we have GM into ID, which is nothing but a small ID value. Now, the source terminal, we'll concentrate on the source terminal. Now, source terminal is short circuited, so this RS will become redundant. Hence, over here, source terminal is grounded. Now, let us check the gate terminal. So, over here, gate terminal, we have two resistors, R1 and R2, which are connected in parallel going to the ground. So, here it is. R1 and R2, two resistors going to the ground, and the terminal is connected to the gate terminal. Now, from here, we connect the source, AC source. So, here we connect the AC source like this. Okay, so if the gate side and the source side connections are over, let us concentrate on the drain side. So as you can see at the drain end, we have a RL capacitor, RL resistor, okay, and we have a RD resistor also. So RL and RD are again connected in parallel if you see them carefully. Okay, so over here we have RD connected, RL connected, and also we have V out across the value of RL. Okay, so this is how we draw the small signal equivalent circuit. Now from this circuit we have to determine Z in, Z out, and the voltage gain. So what will be Z in? Z in will be looking into the gate terminal. So what do you see over here? R1 parallel to R2. This is open circuit, correct? So Zn will be just equal to R1 parallel to R2, which will be, if you calculate those, if you substitute those values over here, R1 is 10 and 50, 40 mega ohms parallel to 10 mega ohms will come out to be 8 mega ohms. You can check it out in a calculator. Whereas Z out will be given by, if you see from the drain terminal, I mean the output terminal, we have the RL resistor, RD resistor, and then we have a current source. Now this current source will not have any internal resistance. So its internal resistance RD is infinite. So over here we consider just RD, capital RD, and capital RL. Okay, the resistor RL and RD. Fine. So your Z out will be RD parallel to RL. RD value is let us check 3.3 and RL is 10K. So over here we will have 3.3K parallel to 10K, and if you substitute in your calculator you will get Z out equal to 2.4812 kilo ohms. Okay, at the last we'll find the value of voltage gain. So voltage gain is given by V out upon V in. So somehow we have to establish a relation between V out and V in. Now over here, if you see carefully, V out can be written as follows. So this is my drain current flowing out. Hence we have a minus sign. So this GM into VGS is nothing but my small signal drain current. And that is multiplied with the two resistors connected in parallel, RD parallel to RL. So what will be my voltage? Minus, because it is flowing outward. So minus GM into VGS into RD parallel to RL. This is my value of V out. And what is V in? V in is a parallel voltage reaching over here. And since source terminal is connected to the ground, voltage in parallel remains the same. So we can say from the diagram, V in is equal to VGS. Okay, we have no problem in saying that. Now, what is the voltage gain? V out upon V in. V out formula is minus GM into VGS into RD parallel to RD parallel to RL divided by V in, which can be written as VGS. So VGS gets cancelled, and we have the final formula for AV, which is given by minus GM times RD parallel to RL. Okay, and if we substitute the values of GM as 1.33, okay, so we substitute the value of AV as the GM as 1.33 into 10 is to minus 3 multiplied by RD parallel to RL, which is 2.4812, okay, kilo ohms. You will get the value, if you put this in the calculator, you will get the value of voltage gain as minus 3.3082. So that's the voltage gain we are looking for. We said before that for an amplifier, three things are important. First is the voltage gain, second is the input impedance, third is the output impedance, and the fourth is the linearity. Linearity part is taken care of by drawing this small signal model, which is the linearized version of your MOSFET. Okay, so we have calculated the gain AV also. And now we move our attention to in LT spice. So we'll verify all these parameters, that is Z in, Z out, voltage gain, and the DC parameters in LT spice. So let us go back to the circuit over here. Yeah. So let me take the parcel screen like this. And let me open up the LT spice window for your reference. So already for your reference, the circuit is made ready so that we save some time over here. Yeah. The circuit is kept ready. Let us check one by one if everything is fine. So over here we have VIN. We have yet to connect VIN. We have RSIG. Uh, we don't have RSIG actually, so we'll remove this. Fine. So here we have 1 microfarad CC1. Then we have R1 as 40 mega ohms, R2 as 10 mega ohms. We can see over here. RD is 3.3K, RS is 1.2K, CS is 100 microfarad, CC2 is 1 microfarad, and RL value is 10K. Yes, indeed, all these parameters are done over here. I mean, we have them together. Okay, and over here we will cancel this out. In the dot model parameter, right, we have VTO voltage written as 3 volt, and over here KP is written as twice of KN. Actually, inside the statement of KP or KN, we have mu and Cox W by L. So that two factor is coming. Okay, so in order to incorporate that two factor internally also, we have to write Kn as twice of that value in the dot model statement. Okay, if the value of Kn is given alone. So hence we have written over here 0.8 milli. Okay, and the lambda is 0 because over here RD value we have assumed it to be infinite. Okay, so your lambda value will be 0. So all the model parameters are also fine, and we have to determine the value of AV, Z in and Z out. Now, okay, so let us focus our attention to the LT Spice circuit, and the supply voltage is also 30 volts. Yeah, everything is in place now. So let us focus our attention over here. Yeah, so over here, this is my circuit, and I have to define I have to add the voltage source. So I'll go to the library over here and select voltage, and I place it over here. Okay, let me adjust it properly. Yeah, and right click over here, go to advanced and select the sign. We can write 0 as the DC offset. Amplitude might be, let's say, 10 millivolt. We can give it 100 also, basically, because it's a MOSFET, the gain is not too high, and the frequency, let's say, it's 10 kilohertz. Okay, so this is my input, and now I have to connect this directly to the CC1. Yeah, so my circuit connections are done, and now I'm ready to check the DC parameters. Okay, so I'll go to simulate, click on run. After writing the dot model statement, how to write the dot model statement again? Dot model NMOS1. So this will by default will be NMOS. So you can rename it like this as NMOS1, and also M1 I can rename it as M1 underscore my name. You can put your name. Okay, and the threshold voltage is 3, and the Kn value is 0.4, but we are substituting twice to adjust the half inside the formula. Okay, and lambda is 0 because RD is 0. Correct. So we have defined the dot model statement. So how to write this dot model statement? Right click on the screen. I will show it to you. Right click, go to draft and go to spice directive. Here we have to write the dot model statement. Actually, we have already written over here, as you can see, and click on OK. Here, see to it that here we have selected the spice directive. Okay, and now we are ready to check the DC parameters. So we'll go to simulate, click on run. It will ask for the simulation command. Click on the DC operating point and click on OK. So you will get all the values, but we would like to view it in the form of spice. Uh, so what we will do is close it, go to view, click on spice error log. Okay, so here we are. We can check all the parameters. The name of the MOSFET is also coming properly. So let us check the value of ID and VGS. So VGS value is coming out to be 4.67, and we got it by calculation as 4.6667. That is absolutely correct. The value of ID in simulation is coming out to be 1.11 milliamperes, and in calculation it is coming 1.111 milliamperes. So both are correct. Next, we can check the value of GM also. So the value of GM is 1.33 milliampere per volt, and by calculation is also 1.33 milliampere per volt. Okay, so these DC parameters are correct, and now we can remove this dot model, OP, and now we'll define the label, the input and the output nodes. We right click over here, label net, we'll add the label V in underscore the name over here. We can add the label over here on this line and add the label at the output also. We can call this as V out underscore the name. So now we are ready to simulate this. So let us go to simulate, click on run, and it will ask for a transient response. We can give it as around, let's say, 0.3 milliseconds. Yeah, so it will definitely be x-axis will be of time axis. Now you right click over here, add trace, and click on V in. Simultaneously you can add right click and add trace, add your V out also. So you can see output blue color is an amplified version of the input red color. Okay, so here we have to determine the gain value. So one technique is right click over here, adjust the cursor to the top. I mean, you may get an accurate value, but you might make error also. So there is a direct way. Let the spice calculate the gain for us. So what we do is right click over here, go to draft, go to spice directive, and write some statements. So we'll write dot measure V in peak to peak. And what are we measuring the peak to peak of? V in underscore the name. So you write the label as it is. Next line will be again dot measure V out peak to peak. Measure the P out V out value peak to peak. And what is the label given to V out? V out underscore the name. And finally dot measure, we can calculate the gain, right? And we can calculate AV. We can write directly AV. Parameter will be V out divided by V in. Okay. So we write these three statements. This will directly calculate the value of the voltage gain, AV. So again, if I simulate this, I'll get the graphs, no doubt. And as you can see, the input and output are out of phase. That is why in our final, in the theoretical values, we get the gain as negative. So that means input and output are out of phase. That's a proof of it. Okay. So now we are determining the value of AV. Let us see how much do we get. So once we got the graph, go back to the schematic, go to view and click on the spice error log. Okay. So here it is, I think there is some, yeah, it should be V out. Write the label carefully. V of V out. There is a label inside. Okay. And now if I do that again, it will give me accurate values. So I'll go to the view now, go to the spice error log, and here it is. Here are my values of AV, as you can see. But only thing is dot measure statement will give you only the magnitude, not the sign. So you have to determine the the sign from the input output waveform. If they are out of phase, the gain is negative, and in this case the gain itself is negative. So here we are, by simulation we are getting the voltage gain as 3.30723, and by calculation we are getting the voltage gain as 3.3082. So they are very close, matching up till 2 decimals. So this is how you calculate the voltage gain. So next we will calculate the input impedance. So input impedance, we don't require this, neither we require dot tran. So how do we calculate the input impedance? Let me close this also. So how do we calculate the input impedance? Let me go to this and add to comment. So basically your Zin is given by V in divided by I in, which can be written as V test divided by I test. Okay. So this is how you evaluate the value of Zin. Input impedance will be the impedance looking at the input terminals over here, and the current which is flowing into the input. So V in upon I in will give us Zin. Now let me delete this also, and here over here let me redefine the value of V1. So we'll apply the test source, right? So we can remove this, take another test source from the library voltage and place it over here. So this time we will give a right click, go to advanced, go to AC amplitude and put 1 over here. That's it. Okay, do this much. Fine. And then you can rename this source as test and add the label over here as test. Okay, so we'll rename this to source as test and add the label over here as test. Next, what we will do, we will go to simulate, we'll try to click on run, and we will go to AC analysis. Type of sweep will be decade, number of points will be 100, start frequency 100, stop frequency 10 mega, and we click on OK. So you will see the x-axis as your logarithmic frequencies. Okay, as we can see over here, that your input impedance will be a function of frequency, so as the output impedance will be. So we are trying to estimate the input impedance. So input impedance is what? V test divided by I test. So that is exactly what we will plot. We'll right click over here, add trace, V test divided by I test. Okay, so this is the value which we are getting. Now this is my phase plot. I will remove it, don't phase plot. So this is the value of Zn. So you will say it is in dB. So right click over here, click on the logarithmic, click on the linear and click on OK. Okay, here we can give it as 0. Yeah, so as you can see very clearly, if I right click over here, I get the value. We have to check it at 10 kilohertz, right? Because we have given the source over here as 10 kilohertz earlier, if you remember. So the value over here is 8 mega ohms. As you can see very, very clearly, it's 8 mega ohms. And by calculation, we also got 8 mega ohms. Okay. So this is how you calculate the input impedance. Now for the output impedance, we will cut the source and we will transfer the source at the output directly like this. We'll have to change the node over here, as we call it as a test again, and we'll connect it like this. So what will be Z out given by? Let me just paste it over here. So Z out will be given by V out divided by I out, which can be written as V test divided by I test. So same test source we apply at the output. Okay, cut from here and apply at the output. Now, while you measure the output impedance, or applying the test source over here, it doesn't matter what we connect at the input. Okay, so don't worry about it. Just to connect it over here at the output. And now, if you simulate it directly, it will directly give you the value of Z out. Okay, and now if I trace it over here and go to 10 kilohertz, this will give me the accurate value. Okay, so this is around 10 kilohertz, and I'm getting the value of Z out as 2.481 kilo ohms. Okay, so it is the value of Z out. Z in came out to be 8 mega ohms, and the value of Z out is coming out to be 2.4812. As you can see, 2.4812. So much accurate values we are getting. Okay, so this is how you measure the input and output impedance and your voltage gain for a common source amplifier. I guess that is all for today's session. Okay, next time we will start with some other topic, that is other configurations of MOSFET, that is common gate and common drain. So until then, have a good day and thank you.